Welcome back to another edition of the Nightly Nuge. I'm getting seasick watching Uncle Ted jump up and down over there. But Ted, listen, last night was crazy. And the response to having you back on the Nightly Nuge was overwhelming. So first of all, congratulations on your just incredible popularity among we the people shit kickers, as you call them.
Well, we were at the National Rifle Association last month in Dallas, Texas, and I showed up at the Hunter Nation Pursuit Channel booth right across from the Remington exhibit, where a Congressional Medal of Honor winner, a great man, Sammy Davis, his name was Sammy Davis. And again, when you fight for freedom, freedom lovers will surround you. So we spent the day with Sammy Davis, a Vietnam hero, an award-winning warrior hero, but we set attendance records at the Pursuit Channel Hunter Nation booth. And I want to thank those thousands of people that stood in line just to shake my greasy guitar-playing Detroit muscle backstrap daddy fingers. I know that the best people in the world are hurt by the abuse of power by Uncle Sam and all the alphabet soup bureaucracies that nobody trusts anymore because they've lost all semblance of integrity and honesty and duty and constitutionality. So thank you for that. But I think it represented that what we have here at the Nightly Nuge, and same with the Ted Nugent Spirit of the Wild on the Pursuit Channel, 8 times a week.
Right.
We are the most watched hunting show in the history of hunting shows. I think it's Shemaine's Queen of the Forest that does it. But we also stand up for truth, logic, and common sense. And that's what the Nightly Nuge is about. So everybody out there that supports truth, logic, and common sense coming out of this pretty mouth of mine, I literally genuflect at the altar of your American dream. And I'm humbled and honored, and I'm driven and inspired, stimulated, and really appreciative that you would support the old guitar player who happens to have a T-Rex scrotum swinging from sea to shining sea of truth, logic, and common sense against the enemies of America, which happens to be the U.S. government right now. So thank you. And I'm on course. And by the way, I'm turning up the heat.
I love it. Well, you know what, Ted? Back when COVID was the hot topic of America, this show, a lot of posts, a lot of people were canceled, kicked off of Facebook, TikTok, Twitter back then, because they dared to mention that there were some alternatives to the COVID jab. Maybe ivermectin, maybe hydroxychloroquine, that was deemed to be false information, kicked off of all platforms. But I'm sure you saw that earlier this week, your good friend, Dr. Fauci, was back in front of Congress. The guy simply has not learned. He is so incredulous, Ted, that he just doubled down on all of his lies, in spite of the fact that it was reported that his scientists, his people with his not-for-profit lab over in Wuhan made over $720 million in payments because of the COVID jab. People want to know, I mean, this Dr. Fauci, he's something else. What's your take?
Well, why Dr. Fauci and Hillary Clinton and Lon Horiachi and Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and Eric Holder aren't facing a firing squad, I'll never know. Dr. Fauci doesn't even qualify as a snake. The guy is a greedy, corrupt, immoral snake. He lied for his own financial gains. The communist Chinese don't leak weapons. You know, we didn't leak little big boy over Hiroshima. We don't leak weapons. It's a communist Chinese chemical warfare weapon that they unleashed intentionally on the world under the guidance of Dr. Punk-ass Fauci. Write it down. And Michelle Obama is a man, and Barack Obama wasn't born in America. And if anybody would like to debate me on that, he's an election denier, that would be me. If Joe Biden got 81 million votes in 2020, I'm Caitlyn Jenner's boy toy. It's literally Planet of the Cuckoo's Nest out there. Dr. Fauci is a psychotic. What's the other criminal term? Whatever. He's a psychotic serial liar for his own gain.
And maybe even a serial killer.
I think so. And right now, we all know that ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine, in fact, has become a bunch of warriors out there. I've got these buddies that's called the Wellness Company, and you can get your hydroxychloroquine and your ivermectin and emergency medicines and emergency first aid stuff. In fact, you probably just saw me take a pill here a minute ago, but this is the Wellness Company Spike Support. I think you go to we'll put it on the screen. I know Tim can do this. twc.health/TED. But the point is that the guitar player, the author of Wango Tango, will give you better medical advice than Dr. Fauci and his communist Chinese weaponized virus gang, as supported and paid for by Nancy Pelosi and the Joe Biden devil snake scum gang. I'm telling you, Keith, who doesn't see this? And by the way, well, you shouldn't call people names. Those aren't names. Those are identifications. Dr. Fauci is an evil, immoral man. Joe Biden is an evil, immoral man. Hillary Clinton is Michelle Obama is an evil, immoral man. So the point is that now under congressional scrutiny, but I don't want people just getting more lies from him. I want him arrested for treason and genocide and face a firing squad. That's what we, the people of goodwill and decency and consciousness and real justice, want. Fauci is a punk. He's a dangerous man.
So you know what, Ted, back during the COVID pandemic, like a lot of Americans, I got whatever it was that was going around. Thank goodness that our mutual friend, Chris Kobach, introduced me to Dr. Carladine Graves. I met Dr. Graves personally. She prescribed ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine. I got on it. Whatever I had, COVID, call it whatever you want, it quickly dissipated. And my lung problems are well documented. And so it definitely worked for me. But at the same time that I was able to get that treatment, thousands and thousands of Americans died because they were not allowed to get it or shamed into even thinking that was a remedy. I'm sure you also noticed Dr. Fauci doubled down on the value of masks, the values of lockdowns, the values of locking kids out of school, us out of church. Do you think America will ever tolerate such overreach by the government if something like that ever comes up again?
Well, what Fauci is a manifestation of overall toilet flushing, cultural degradation. Nobody trusts any of the bureaucracies. If you want to get sick, get FDA authorized medicine. It's chemical warfare. If you want to have a foodborne illness, make sure it says USDA on it. And if you want to know what the mafia is up to, it's called the FBI. Nobody trusts these people, and Dr. Fauci is the perfect representative of that. In the Jimmy Kimmel, the liars in the media, all the ABC, CBS, NBC, the CNN, the MSNBC, they all accused me of denying that there was such thing as a COVID-19. Never denied that it existed, because I got it. I saw my friends get it. I saw my friends die because they obeyed the government. And they didn't get hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin. And Kimmel, what a soulless, immoral, bad, dishonest scoundrel he is. I wonder how he raises his son. Someday, Jimmy Kimmel's son is going to see the footage of his dad lying and being cruel and immoral, and it's going to be a real sad day in that young man's life. The point being is that I said the entire government response under Fauci was a scam, and even the great Donald Trump trusted some of those health officials, and he did the Operation Warp Speed. You can't get a vaccine if you warp speed it. It's got to be researched and tested. You've got to have actual scientific reviews. You can't warp speed. So that was one thing. I love Donald Trump, but that was a horrible mistake. But the beautiful thing about Donald Trump is he never forced it on anybody. He always said, it's your choice. But the media is untrustworthy. So once again, Dr. Fauci showed his evil ways. And I think, again, the left, in their belief that they're doing something beneficial for somebody, anybody, even though it's their own side, is now backfiring. And American families are coming to grips with the reality that Fauci represents
the runaway dishonesty of Uncle Sam and all his bureaucracies.
Very pointed. Well, tomorrow night, Ted, I want to visit with you about something that, believe it or not, it's still a problem. The border. I know you have firsthand knowledge on that. Our listeners want to know. Tomorrow night, Ted, we're going to talk about the border. And by the way, I just got to tell you, you are so entertaining. I'm in here laughing and entertained by you. I know our listeners have missed this. And you know what? I know for a fact you are not Caitlyn Jenner's boy toy. See you tomorrow night, Ted.